Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our January 2024 special edition about well-wishing expressions in Chinese. We have been covering a lot of ways that, to my view, expose Chinese values, their priorities, what they want from life. So by going through these expressions, it kind of reminds me too of what's important to Chinese people. Okay, today we talk about 金玉满堂, which is Chinese visualization of wealth in the format of gold and jade. Interesting, right? I mean, gold for a contemporary person, we can sort of relate because gold used to be this monetary reserve globally until we unpack US dollar to gold, right? Not unpack, unhinge US dollar to gold. So now Chinese also especially have a favor over jade. And jade not only can be used as a personal adornment, jade used to be storage of wealth as well. Okay, so to wish somebody fare well financially, you will wish them 金玉满堂, meaning your living room. I translate as salon, French way of living room, which is the tallest ceiling room in your household, be filled with gold and jade. That means that's like your house is overspilling with wealth symbols. Okay. 金, we have this triangle shape. Somebody said it's a cover, but no, that's if you have, okay, Chinese have a funny story of 此地无银300两. Somebody tried to hide the wealth underground and then put a sign next to it saying, there is no $200. I mean, I'm just using dollars, but 200, whatever units of measurements of silver buried underground. There's no such thing, and put a sign right there. Okay. So to my view, if you want to hide your wealth, you're not going to mark it, right? So this triangle thing as a cover, that story doesn't go. Like you don't want to make it obvious. So the other story of this triangle thing, that means gathering, make more sense. So it simply is, well, let's imagine this way, our earth, the soil, the earth, underground, depending where it is on the planet Earth, may have a concentration of different things, right? Most often it's a mixture of different things, different elements, different materials. And it's not going to be worthwhile. Say you have a very, very low content of gold, something specks of the soil in your backyard. You're not going to go through the trouble of, getting all that gold tiny bits out of it if the percentage of the gold concentration is low, like it doesn't worth your time. Well, here, this triangle thing means concentration. That means a higher percentage of gold content underground. Then that's a different story, right? So this concentration, this gathering makes sense here. Now, two horizontal lines with one vertical line with a little bit horizontal tilt. I mean, a handle over there. I don't exactly know what the handle means. It could mean a type of mining device back then, something you try to drill underground. But two horizontal lines with one vertical line simply is a soil symbol in Chinese. This first horizontal line is a ground level. Vertical line, some sort of plant. Second horizontal line is the indicator. So it's kind of an arrow pointing in contemporary symbols of our today's world, where arrow pointing, right? On a 2D frame, we arrow point, this is what we're going to talk about, right? So Chinese just use a horizontal line. There's no arrowhead on it, but it points your attention to the very end of the plant's root. That means the surroundings, the supportive nutrition surrounds that root, and the whole thing just means soil. So it's something embedded in soil. So these two separate vertical lines is a visual depiction of the specks of the mineral buried among the soil. So you have to have a way to dig them out and sort out from soil, regular soil, to the mineral you want. And this is originally simply means a type of metal material, I guess. Metal material, mostly we mine it underground. And eventually the character specialized to become gold, probably. Gold was back then, and I'm not sure if today still, at least back then, was regarded as the most precious metal you can mine from the earth. So that's gold symbol. Jade, okay, if you notice simplified Chinese, which is our contemporary Chinese version of jade, and this have this extra dot in it. The reason why is because we have without the dot, it means king. So we apparently have another symbol that looks very similar to this symbol, and people have to differentiate the two. Otherwise, it gets confusing because structurally, both of them make up 3 horizontal lines connected with 1 vertical line, and the vertical line just end on the top and bottom horizontal line. It cannot go through, it cannot untouch either. It has to be intersecting exactly at that point, stop exactly at that point. So this character can apparently mean both jade and king, or the country ruler. The differentiation, the ancient way, is this middle horizontal line. If it's cut exactly at 50%, like same thing, top and bottom, that means jade, which visualize jade in a disc shape put on a string. And that's the ancient jade storage. So imagine a stack of US dollars, right? Put in a bank. So that's contemporary money storage. Ancient solution is jade put in a disc format, probably with a hole in the middle, so you can put a string through it. And that's a stack of money back then. And so therefore, it's reasonable to expect the middle discs are evenly distributed, so there is no up and down. But if this middle horizontal line go a tiny little bit above the middle point, then that becomes a symbolization of kind of a staff. I guess universally, whoever is in power like to use an elaborated, decorated staff thing as a prop to show people, I have this, you don't. Therefore, I'm the oppressor, you're the oppressee. Listen to me, I rule over you, right? So that's the symbol for power. And the symbol for power eventually extends to the power itself, which is the ruler. So this tiny shift of this horizontal line, just a little smidge above the 50% line, is too hard. Like for people, it's very easily get confused, or when you're copywriting something, you just didn't make it right. Later day people come to the script may misinterpret. So later on, people add this one extra dot to make sure this one is not a king, this one is jade, but in ancient time, it looks like this, exact 50% cut of the middle line. Okay, gold, jade, two favorite wealth storage method for ancient Chinese people. And you wish them to fill their hall or their salon or their living room. So this fill made of this water overspilling image. Okay, water sign, we come across this many times, and anybody who is kind of entry-level Chinese have seen the symbol like that. It's quite water, fluid dynamic, right? It looks just like river. The right side means the right side actually looks very similar to number 2. And with this connection, this tiny little bit of connection of the horizontal line with 2 vertical lines, that makes it 20. So, okay, without this shape, just this horizontal line. If the horizontal line sit directly above this whole structure, it means 2. Now with this, it means 20. So from 2 to 20, 20, in my guessing, is the most relatable unit of measurement that's kind of big, that's kind of full. And I'm not sure in ancient times if Chinese actually used 20 as a measurement for like one bigger unit of like fulfillment of the grains or the harvest you made for that year, and you fill the container. Chinese do have this container thing that measure a farmer's crop at the end of the year, if how much you'll fill up to, right? I wonder if 20 is the top of that measurement, and then it made into one bigger unit. So in any case, it has this, the top is 20, the bottom have this arch with this human figure thing, and evenly distributed. It's like a mirror image between the two, right? So it's an even split of something of 2. And then it fill up to the 20, means max out the capacity of something, right? When it paired with water, it simply means a max out, I guess, the water channel or water container, like a dam or something, and then it gets overspilling, kind of. Probably it's like a fill to the brim, that kind of full, and at any moment can overspill. So in the case, it's kind of max out. Tang, we have, again, the soil symbol. We see the soil symbol here, right? I haven't solved the mystery of this tiny little tilt handle yet, but just by itself, 2 horizontal lines, the bottom one is slightly longer than the top one with a vertical line. That's soil symbol. That's ancient building material of housing, I guess. So Chinese do use wood a lot, bamboo. Sometimes it depends on which region you're living in China, and the soil material from the earth, right? I guess throughout the world, people have to use whatever they can use around the surrounding environment, and the soil was also part of Chinese building blocks, right? So made it into, I don't know, like adobe or block it and stacking up. I don't exactly know ancient times solution of building human habitat, but it's a building material. The top means almost like a high rising, sense of high rising. First, it points upward, right? So your energy is going upward, and then have these 2 lines. It means kind of breaking through the air, and the energy keeps going up. There's no blockage. Your your air goes up. And then there is this mouse symbol. The mouse symbol means somebody is speaking something, right? Somebody is recognizing, appreciating something, and the energy keeps going up. The whole thing, besides the soil symbol, everything on top, that means you adore something, like you're speaking about it, and it's positive energy going upward. And you're, I guess, once you make sense to yourself, you can make sense for other people, and people start to follow, and that forms the trend. So the top is a kind of a trend. The reason why it becomes trend is also because people appreciate or adore this phenomenon or things or value or way of doing things, way of living, whatever, and then eventually it becomes a trend. So this character can be multifunctional, but the original meaning, it comes down to adore, like you approve this. You have this positive energy going. You have a good saying about something. So that's adore. And this upward going energy paired with building block together forms the living room, the equivalent of today's living room function in a household. So living room is the place where you can host your guests. Guests may not, go to bedroom. Guests may have their own, guest room. But when they visit you, most likely they're just hang out in the living room, right? So it's living room is your private property, but it's semi-public as well, because outsider from your household can come stay in this living room space. So there is this, two spheres, public and private, overlapping space. That's the tang in Chinese. And tang is supposed because it has outsiders. So not only your household members, but outsiders. This is the common grounds between the two, and that's supposed to be the highest population, not population, but highest density of headcounts in anywhere in your household. Therefore, oftentimes this town, this living room, is most spacious, most high ceiling. So both vertically, horizontally, spacious. Private property on your household. So this this expression say 金玉满堂 didn't wish you to fill out any other type of rooms, because Chinese have a character for different type of rooms. So it's wishing you the golden jade filled the biggest, most spacious room in your household. And that's kind of max out, and also max out the biggest room. That's the highest, visualization of how much wealth that you want to accumulate. And simply to convert to English, that means you're affluent. You have so much wealth that it filled your biggest room in your household. And when I'm searching for a representation of jade as a storage of wealth, I come up with this jade Buddha. Apparently, this is Thailand, right? This is their architecture style, and this is their Buddha style. So Buddha in East Asia, many countries, and each country kind of localize how Buddha is supposed to look. So this is their look, and this is a combination of both gold and jade. So you can see people put the most expensive material at their disposal into the Buddha, the religion they believe in. And from that, we can deduce, okay, so ancient times, both jade and gold are the two primary, the most precious things in people's life. And therefore, here is a proof of a jade gold combination Buddha in Thailand. So that's affluent, a Chinese way to say affluent, 金玉满堂. Hash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.